There is a new COVID-19 long hauler resource and information page on the State Department of Health and Welfare's website. This is aimed at helping those who continue to suffer from post-COVID-19 effects. Eyewitness News 3's Rachel Fabi talked with one COVID long hauler who says it's past the time they get recognized.
I had COVID in late July, and about a month after I was still showing symptoms and was still sick, I found a
That online story led Travis Smith to a COVID long hauler support group Facebook page in Utah.
this was the first time I had ever heard of a COVID long hauler. And as I read the interview, I was thinking it's good to know I'm not alone. There's others out there like me.
So Smith decided to create a similar group for Idaho.
If there's long haulers out there, they're probably in the same boat I was, where they didn't know, or they don't know that this is a thing. The fact that they're still sick months after, weeks or months after.
Called Idaho COVID Long Haulers, the group has hundreds of members.
People have been able to discuss their symptoms, how to alleviate those symptoms, what to have the doctors check for, or sometimes you just need a place to vent with a group of people that understand.
One of those frustrations is doctors don't have an exact treatment for long hauler symptoms. Some of the most common including shortness of breath, fatigue, and tachycardia. The treatments and symptoms often vary person to person. Another problem is how hard it is to determine if someone is a long hauler or not.
Especially early on in the pandemic, people would go see doctors for it, and one example I commonly use is I saw a doctor in the emergency room after a really bad night of tachycardia, and he dismissed that it would have anything to do with COVID. He told me you've shed the virus at this point. It's not COVID. And it's like, well, I've never suffered this. I had tachycardia before, but I've never suffered a severe episode like I had that night.
Which is where his Facebook group plays a big role.
The mission behind it is really to get that awareness out there and help doctors or officials or even just everyday citizens understand that this is a new battle, and hopefully the day is coming sooner than later when COVID itself is eradicated and we're not dealing with it on the level that we are today. But the long haulers are going to be an issue for a good minute with how we're trying to find treatment and how difficult it is to diagnose.
But there is some good news for long haulers.
One of the interesting things that just popped up recently in the last couple of weeks is the fact that some patients with COVID actually seem to improve after they got their vaccine and their second shot of their vaccine. So that, again, is kind of up in the air. There's just a preliminary report about that right now, but looks kind of interesting.
And the NIH is launching an initiative to study long haulers, giving Smith and other long haulers hope for the future. In Idaho Falls, I'm Rachel Fabi.